Well, hello everyone. My name is Dara Rath and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario, Canada. And I have taken a little break from doing the Take 5s because I had some hip surgery done. And so now I'm going to return to reading you some stories from different authors every week. They take about 5 minutes to watch. And some of them are funny, some of them will give you something to think about. And so here's the first story, coming back. I've been doing it for 3 years and took a break to have hip surgery, so I'm pleased to be able to be back and bring you more stories. So this is the first one, and it is in a book called Sunset Musings by Bob Johnston. So, what about Bob? Is a 1999-1991 comedy starring Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. While it remains a movie well worth seeing, I'm just borrowing its catchy title to lead into a discussion about names, specifically my own. My interest in first names was renewed a few years ago when I came across an AP article by Stephen Olemak. He was commenting on the rise and fall in popularity of certain names, which parents were choosing for their babies. Naturally, I hastened to find my own name on the list. It was nowhere to be found. More recently, 2019, Canadian statistics compiled by Narcity discovered that most popular boys' names were Jackson, Noah, Liam, Lucas, and Benjamin. For girls, the list started with Sophia, Olivia, Emma, Amelia, and Aria. Bob used to be a more popular choice. In 1930s, Irregular ranked as topped as 100, number 100 on the list. Robert was number 1. When I checked again in 2020, my name was 1,328th in the USA, according to Baby Center, and likely fared no better in Canada. When it came time to choose names for our grandchildren, I stoically remained silent, but hopeful that a namesake would emerge to continue our family tradition of Bob. My uncle and grandfather each proudly carried that moniker. With the first 2 grandbabies, it didn't happen, but I still love Gwendolyn and Cole just the same. But when pregnancy number 3 was announced, I knew a different strategy was required. "Why don't you name the next one Bob?" I subtly dropped a hint. "Well, what if it's a girl?" my son and daughter-in-law replied in unison, awkwardly trying to avoid a direct answer. "You could name her Bobby." That was the name of my first love in college. For some reason, my wife abruptly excused herself from the conversation and fled to the bedroom. I think it was something she ate. Well, grandchild number 3 ended up being called Eli. My wife is finally beginning to speak to me again. The problem is that popular first names have been tragically based on either British royalty or Bible characters. Consider Mary, John, Elizabeth, Margaret, James, Michael, and William. Jacob has been number 1 for most of the past 14 years, and Noah was ranked number 4. My problem is that Britain never had a King Bob. As far as their theologians can determine, Jesus never had a disciple named Bob. What chance do I have to see my name repopularized? The other current source of names is popular culture. Children are being named after rap stars and movie starlets and politicians or sports celebrities. But there are a few leading actors named Bob once you get past Bob Newhart, Bob Hope, Bob Marley, and Bob Stanfield, even though he's dead. There's still Bob Dylan, I suppose. Parents are increasingly choosing names for their offspring to set them apart from the rest of the peer group. The problem with some of these unique monikers is that no one knows how to spell them. Consider how much productive time is lost when a secretary or a clerk has to stop a business transaction to check on the proper spelling. Is it Sherry, S-H-E-R-I, or S-H-A-R-I, or S-H-E-R-R-E? The same confusion occurs with pronunciation. Excuse me, but is your name pronounced Maya or Maya? Is that Basil or Basil? Tira? With Bob, there's never a second wasted with such needless clarifications. My name also can be spelled backwards with the same clear results. Perhaps for the sake of efficiency, all newborns should be called Bob or Bobby. Sorry, dear. If you love Bob, give him a hug. If your name is Bob, remember that its meaning is bright fame, even if the world doesn't recognize it. Meanwhile, I patiently await the next generation of Johnsons, our great-great-grandchildren in another 20 years or so. I yearn to hold that future little Bob or Bobby on my knee during my sunset years, but only if I can still lift the baby up high without hurting my back. What a wonderful story. And isn't it true, some of the wildest names that people are calling their children. Actually, our son is named Bob, and we call him Bobby. He was named for a hockey player, and that would be 50-some years ago now. But when he was talking about the spelling of a name, my name is spelled D-A-R-L-Y-N-E, and it's said, you say Darlene, but it's caused me great confusion most of my life, and that's why I'm just simply called Dar. So, thanks so much for taking 5. I hope you had a bit of a giggle today with this story from Bob Johnson. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for taking 5.